Okay. There once was a boy called Jack. He didn't fit in with the pack. He just wanted to pick flowers. But all of his friends wanted superpowers. So Jack played with all his might, but it just didn't feel quite right. Okay, there's lots of really interesting things here. Using simplicity and having this in child speak is great. There's no reason you can't have a song where it's like the nursery rhyme. As soon as I hear this, it actually reminds me immediately of a story about Liberace. Liberace was bullied and beaten at school. He didn't fit in, like Jack. He didn't fit in because he didn't play sport. He liked playing the piano and cooking, so he got beaten up and bullied all through school. Now, as soon as I hear that, do I identify with it? It's got to engage it with this. When someone tells you a story, it means something. And it does. This, to me, this is exactly what I heard a few days ago, was Liberace talking about his childhood. Have a listen again. It's good. In fact, it's kind of done in the nursery rhyme. It's great. There's a few issues with it, but let's go. There once was a boy called Jack. He didn't fit in with the pack. Great! Great. I got it. You've already set something up. There's the group. There's the individual on the side. Great. Got it. Beautiful. He just wanted to pick flowers. Even better, because it's a very non-male, particularly today, thing to do. It's a very feminine. Great. Slightly what would be called a gay thing, perhaps. Maybe not. But all of his friends wanted superpowers. Great! We got it. These butch guys all wanted to be Superman and Batman and Spider-Man, and Jack wanted to pick flowers. Love it. By the way, this says an awful lot. Do you think this was written by boys or girls?
Girls. Samantha, Emily, Nat.
I know.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
It's interesting. Yeah. Wouldn't it be great if a bunch of boys wrote that lyric?
Yeah.
It would never happen. No, that's not true. It would happen. But have a listen to the lyric. Ask yourself, would boys write this? There once was a boy called Jack. He didn't fit in with the pack. He just wanted to pick flowers, but all of his friends wanted superpowers. It'd be great if guys did write it. Anyway, but great observation here, by the way, Samantha, Emily, Nat, Beth, Katie, and Rebecca. You've entered a very delicate area of social justice, and it's the individual versus the mainstream. Just because the mainstream does it, does that make it right? Just because one person veers from the pack and 99 do one thing and one does the other, does that make that one person wrong? Just because 99 people suggest that we should all go around lynching blacks, does that make it right in the southern states? Just because 99 people say it's law, does that make it right and one person says no? Just because 99 boys all want to be Batman and play sport and run around and one kid wants to pick flowers, does that make it wrong? It's great. We get it. We get it. I got it. Great. I get it. We understand it. Group, individual. Boys, Jack. Okay, got it. All right. Beautiful. So Jack played with all his might, but it just didn't feel quite right. I take contention with those lines. Jack played with all his might, and really it should have felt perfectly natural, because that would highlight the fact that he was different. What you're suggesting here, and again I can artificially impose another meaning, what naturally is suggested here, that Jack was, when he was playing, you're saying that it didn't feel right for him to play with flowers, that he was naturally drawn, what his real instinct was to actually be a bloke. But no, I think you're suggesting his real instinct was to actually do the flowers. It should have felt absolutely right and natural to him. It's a shame you kind of undermine, you've set up so beautifully in the first 4 lines, the fact that he is different, instinctively, genetically, inherently different, that is his essence, and then he's saying to him, but it didn't feel right playing with the flowers. Well, it didn't feel right because it was different, so he started to be mindful. I can impose a meaning to make your meaning work. It didn't feel right because it wasn't swimming with the mainstream, so therefore he felt alienated and ostracized. But sure, the point being, it should have felt natural and right to him to do it, but through doing it, and the reaction, the fact that he was the only one to do it, it wasn't his natural instincts that didn't feel right, it was the fact that he was separated from the flock, from the pack, that didn't feel right, and presumably their response, which presumably is one of being ostracized or bullied or whatever. What you're kind of doing is setting up a premise and undermining it. There once was a boy called Jack. He didn't fit in with the pack. He just wanted to pick flowers, but all of his friends wanted superpowers. So Jack played with all his might, but it just didn't feel quite right. I don't really think That's what you mean.
Yeah.
You with me on this,
Yeah,
Beth?
absolutely. And yeah, fantastic, Warren. And so if that last line could be something...
I like it.
Yeah.
We're going to change the last line.
Mm.
So Jack played with all his might. Well, we'll think about it.
Yeah.
Okay, chorus. Now, so we've gone from Jack, who is a little lad, who is the micro story, which I love. Now you're going to take a big gamble. You're going to make a big statement without even looking at the chorus. It's the individual versus the mass. You've given us a very specific case. So now we are hanging on your every word. You are now going to lay it out. You're going to give us a universal chorus about how fantastic and proud we should be to individuals. This is what we're expecting. This is what we're expecting. You have set a bar of expectation by putting Jack where he is now and empowering him with wanting to play with flowers and play with dolls or whatever we think and getting dressed with girls, and he doesn't want to be a superhero and big muscles and a great David Beckham footballer or Batman. It's great. I get it. We're all on your side. We're rooting for you. What are you going to give us in the chorus? Okay. Why does it matter what we want? Why do we feel ashamed? Are we so really different, or are we just the same? Okay, it's an attempt. It's not the best attempt. I don't think you've kind of matched your verse triumphs with your chorus. Let's have a listen to the chorus again. Why does it matter what we want? Is that really the question you want to ask? Wait, is that really the question you want to ask? Have a listen to it. You're asking me this question. Why does it matter what we want? Is that really the question you want to ask? Jack's not doing anything to suggest what he wants. What we want to be loved, we want to be understood, we want to be accepted. We're not saying that. You're kind of saying, why does it matter what we do? Why isn't that what you actually say? You're saying it with Jack, what he does. You're not saying anything in the verse about what he wants. He wants to be part of the group. He wants to be accepted. He doesn't want to be alienated or bullied. What you set up in the verse, you with me on this, Beth? Yeah. What you're setting up in the verse is great. You're telling me that Jack is different because he does different things. But now you're telling me in the first line of the chorus, why does it matter what we want? Well, but you're not. There's no discrepancy, Jack. You're not giving me a situation about Jack having an issue with his wants. You're setting up differences with what Jack does, and then you're telling me that why does it matter what we want? Well, what we want, we know what we want. We want to be accepted, loved, understood. We want to be, not bullied, whatever. We get all that. Or are you saying something more basic? We all want to play, or we all want food and air and water. I don't think that's a question you actually want to ask.
So it's really, why can't he do whatever he wants, isn't it?
Really, yeah. For Jack, but the universal, what does it matter what we all do? What we all wear? What we say? This is the question I think, it shouldn't make any difference what we do. Girls can get their hands dirty with the boys, and boys can go and play with dolls with the girl. I think that's the point you've set up in the verse. Yeah, so I don't think that's a question you really want to ask. Why do we feel ashamed? Now, hold it. You haven't at all suggested that Jack is ashamed about what he's doing. You've told us he likes playing with flowers. You've contradicted. I understand the ballpark you're in. You've got to be very careful here. We're not apologising. We're not saying, sorry, I'm a freak. I feel ashamed. I'm embarrassed because I'm black. I'm Jewish. I play with you. You're not saying that at all in the verse. Though that would be that's an interesting convention, interesting psychology to explore, but you're not pursuing that. You're saying in the verse that while the kids liked playing as being Batman and superheroes, Jack liked playing with flowers. And now you're saying to me, why do we feel ashamed? Ashamed? I don't know what you're referring to. Ashamed? Who's saying anything about being ashamed? What are we ashamed of? I don't understand. Do you?
No.
I don't know. Who's ashamed? Jack's not ashamed. I don't get it. Are we really so different? It's... I know what you're trying to say. Underneath it all, underneath the skin, we're all... I get all that. I'm not really sure. That's kind of what... I understand the sentiment. I'm not sure that is helping the chorus or helping the verse. Are we all really so different? Well, because the point being that you actually see that the Jack is, as a boy, he is different, and unashamedly different, and he likes it. So I'm not quite sure why any of those three lines you've got so over in the chorus should be there. I think they should. Or are we just the same? But you're suggesting we're not the same. You're suggesting that we're different, but it's okay to be different. Isn't that the point? We are different, but it's okay to be different. Surely that's what you're saying, isn't it? We don't want to all be the same. You don't want everyone to like hip-hop and everyone to like St Kilda and everyone to like cricket or everyone to like opera. The great thing about humanity is its diversity. It's a rich tapestry. And you've shown that. The great thing in your verse is, although perhaps 999 kids from this school want to be superheroes, the boys, one, Jack, and it's enough. One shows that there is a diversity, a rich tapestry, a biodiversity in this world. Isn't that what we want in life? We don't all want to speak Chinese. We don't all want to eat burgers. I mean, or are we just the same? Well, I don't know even know what the same as what? Are we biologically the same underneath? Well, that's not the point you're setting up. It's a behavioural thing. You're setting up the fact that Jack, as a human being, behaves differently than the other boys. I love the fact it's about Jack. And I love the fact it's done as a nursery rhyme. It's really good. You know? It's like a kid's thing. I get it. Because also, by doing it like that, we haven't even discussed it with Beth, but already I don't see Jack as being 16. I see him as being much younger.
Yeah. Oh,
and
definitely.
The reason is because of you, because you've cleverly told me in nursery rhyme, Jack could be 16 and he could have a beard. But when there once was a boy called Jack, he didn't fit in with the pack, he just wanted to pick flowers, but all of his friends wanted to. I see him in shorts, I see him as a little kid.
Yeah, with the cape.
It's because you've talked to me in Jack's language, because that's how Jack as a 5-year-old would talk. Do you understand? You've set Jack's voice for me. You are speaking for Jack. So I think Jack is a certain age, most of the audience will. And it's a very clever construct or conceit of yours to do that. I have no problem with the language.
Yeah.
It's the consistency of your idea. Your idea is good. I'm with you 100% and I get your idea. This little kid, he's called Jack. He doesn't fit, he's not fitting in with the pack. All the other boys, the pack. That's the bulk, Jack. Right? And he's all by himself. When you say he didn't fit in the pack, you haven't mentioned there was Jack and Tim, the two of them, you just said Jack. So all I can see is all the boys and Jack. That's it. Right, and I get it. That works for me. They all want to play football and rugby, and Batman wants to be Batman. He wants to pick flowers. That's great. And he played with all his might. He was great. He was passionate about it, just as they were. But it just didn't feel quite right. Nah. To him, it felt great. Surely that's what you're saying.
Yeah.
Then of course, you've undermined yourself completely. They're the wrong questions to ask. Okay. Verse 2. This is going to get interesting. Jack's friends called him on the phone. Okay. Suggests a few things. Does it suggest he's 5 now?
No.
Even
to me it seems like a teenager because that fact that he wants to be alone.
Fabulous. Now we're suddenly saying, you've set this all up of playing with flowers, kids who are into comic book heroes, Batman, he's playing with flowers, he wants to work with Jack. He's given us 5. Okay, let's make a wild leap, okay? Game Boy, young kids, mobile phones. 5? Don't know. It doesn't automatically sit comfortable anymore. Jack's friends called him on the phone. Jack's friends. You've set up in the first verse Jack doesn't have any friends, that he's different to the pack, doesn't fit in.
Yeah.
Now you're saying Jack's friends. Now you make him out to be a popular social animal.
Although it does say all his friends wanted superpowers. So it says that there's... So in a way, it sort of says that they didn't not like him, but maybe they just didn't understand him or something. So maybe...
I understood friends in a different way.
Yeah.
I sort of said peers. I kind of say,
peers in a...
His
in a primary
age
school.
group, his buddy, his classmates.
Yeah.
I understood friends to me, but all of his friends wanted superpowers. Friends, your mates, your friends, your acquaintances, your peers, I never took it as his, hi Jack, what are you doing today? That kind of mate.
Yeah.
But you've kind of now, Jack's friends called him on the phone.
Yeah.
All of a sudden now, he does have friends, he's got his mates, and he's older. And all of his friends, they call him on the phone, they constantly call him on the phone. Or you wouldn't make the point. If it happened once, it wouldn't be a general statement you're making. Jack's friends called him on the phone, but he preferred to be alone. Now, okay. You've got 2 verses to write an entire person's life. So you're going to write the key things in that life because you're telling a story. You're not going to look for the most irrelevant things, you're going to look for the key things. The key point you're making here is Jack was different. He didn't swim in the mainstream. Okay? It's fine. It's a great point, and you've done it so effectively in the first 4 lines. So effectively. Is the point you really want to make now? He's got mates, and they call him on a phone, he doesn't answer. How does that add more grist, more flesh to your story? I don't believe it does. And it's confusing, because I'm not sure how all these might. All the things they wanted to do, Jack was never really into it. Yeah, we got that in the first verse. You want to give us more information here in the second verse. It's a journey. You don't want to repeat. Listen, all the things they wanted to do, Jack was never really into. You've said that. You said he wanted to pick flowers and all his friends wanted superpowers. You're repeating yourself. You're not taking the story on. The point of the verse, you're on a journey. We have a dramatic arc. There's no point standing still. Give us new information. What you really want to be saying in verse 2, as a result of this predicament or this position that Jack found himself in of playing with flowers, what did this mean to him? What did this mean? What did it mean in practical terms? What did it mean? What it meant at lunchtime? The kids came and nicked his lunch. They called him names. What? You set up a premise in verse 1 and we're on a journey. I don't know about Bet. I want to know what happens to Jack. I'm now interested. It's great. As I said, the number 4006 means nothing to us. We don't know. 4006 kids died in a terrible thing in the Philippines. It's shocking. But it's not a personal story that on a one-to-one level we can enter those people's lives. You have invited us so brilliantly and so cleverly in the first 4 lines into Jack's life. We feel for Jack. Beth and I are sitting here thinking about Jack, who's a 5-year-old kid. He goes to school. He's got a school uniform. He's in shorts. And there the kids are at lunchtime. They're all running around. They're playing football and Batman is there. And here's Jack over there, way over there. Yeah? He's over by a riverbed something and he's doing flowering arranging. It's brilliant. I get it. You've painted the picture. I buy it. Everything thereafter runs contradictory or undermines your original premise. Although we are clear what you're intending, you're not following it through. You've got to give us a universal or generic chorus that supports your premise. And then in verse 2, well, what happened to Jack? What happened? Don't just give us more of the same. He does different things. We know that. We've got that in verse 1. Give us some more information. What happened? Really? One day he was coming back from school. What? And 5 kids beat him so badly that he never wanted to go to school again. And he stayed in his room for 2 weeks. What happened? Well, I don't know. If nothing happened, why are you writing a song about it? The point is you're writing a song because you are sufficiently motivated, inspired by a social injustice that causes you to put pen to paper. Why are you writing about a song if nothing happened to Jack? What's the point? You play with flowers. Well, what's your point? Where's the social injustice? He likes playing with flowers and I like playing football. And what? Verse 2, what is the social injustice? Tell us what happened. Something has happened to Jack. I'm worried now. Me and Beth are very concerned about Jack. I want to know what happened to him. What happened? Well, let's think about it. If he was accepted, if all the kids accepted him, and they actually, Jack carried on playing with flowers and dollies, putting makeup on, he enjoyed cooking, and all the other kids accepted Jack. I mean, that would be very interesting. It's not a social injustice, but it's a very interesting situation to write in a song about young kids who can enjoy and appreciate the diversity of human behaviour. Wow, that would be something. That would be something to actually see in a school playground, wouldn't it? I go back to the Liberace thing. What's interesting, the fact that Liberace liked to cook and play the piano is actually not very interesting in itself. Cooking, a lot of people cook, and a lot of people play the piano. Why was it interesting for him? The other kids hated him for it. It put him in a position that defined the rest of his life. He felt he was not part of that group, and as a result, he was motivated. He could have gone the other way. He could have been very de-skilled and conformed and ended up playing football. No, he saw that he didn't fit, that was the avenue he wanted to go down. He worked tirelessly at the piano and on cooking and started to enjoy and embrace his sexuality. That's what happened. You haven't told us what happens to Jack. Well, you said he's different. I tell you what, it's another one, we're not going to do it. You should write it. Finish the lyric. You've started with something really good. Really, you should finish the lyric. You should tell us Jack's story. We want to know about Jack. And if you are going to write a generic universal chorus, think about what you want to say. Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
But Warren, too, I wonder though, is it worth, like, because it is really interesting, and the first verse works, if we do actually write music for the verse and chorus, whether whether the other verses might flow for them?
Yeah, we could do that. In fact, I'll tell you what. The chorus, okay. The way you've got your chorus, okay, let's have a look at its construction. We've got to look at its content, so let's have a look at its construction. Why does it matter what we want? Okay, I don't think that we understand that's not the question we want to ask. The idea of asking a question as the opening line of the chorus, so long as it's relevant, is good. Okay, so we will do this. We'll set something up where we can impose a question. Why do we feel ashamed? That's not what you want to ask, but the idea of having a shorter question following a longer question as a device, very good. And if that's the case, then we want a longer third line that is a statement or a question. You've got 4 questions. Okay, we can have 4 questions. So we'll go question 1 and question 3 are long. Yeah?
Yep.
Question 2 and question 4 are short. I'm just wondering, having 4 questions, 4 is a small number. Yeah, you've got to get so much in with a lyric. It's so difficult. You're not writing 2-hour play. You can get lots of points in. You're trying to get a few points into 4 lines. I'm wondering whether something as full-on and brazen as the subject, the territory you've entered, whether having 4 questions is a cop-out. Wouldn't it be braver to have 2 questions and then make an incredibly bold, brave statement for 2 lines?
Yeah, I think so.
You're kind of copping out because you're putting the ball in our court, the listener. Aren't we all listening? Great. Get us engaged. Get us active. Get us thinking about. Make us be brave. Lay your statement out. You tell us what you think. Or else you wouldn't write the song. You obviously think something about it, or you wouldn't write the song. The subject is social justice. You have been sufficiently moved by Jack's plight to write a song. You've written a song setting up a fantastic premise about Jack, then told us nothing about Jack after that, and you've told us not what your position is. But you've kind of, I get from the chorus where you're heading, but you haven't laid it out. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to have a long question, then a short question, then we're going to have a long statement, then we're going to have a short statement. Yeah? How does that work?
Yep, I think that's great, yeah.
Very good.
But you meant another long question, I think. Not a...
We could have a long question, a short statement, a long question, a short statement.
Yeah, or do you want...
Don't mind.
Doesn't matter, yeah, okay, yep.
Let's do that. Let's have 2 long questions and 2 short statements. Yep. Now, by the way, the other thing about it is, bear in mind this. Long question, the short statement doesn't have to be an answer to that question. Put it out there. There's a question, then tell us something. Put something else for us to think about, and then tell us something else. Yeah? Move it on, shock us, disturb us, but you've got to be relevant, yeah? Keep it, know what your argument is here. Okay, we can do that. All right, we'll work with that. So that's going to be our song number 2.
Fantastic.
Very good.
Do we want to stop for the next one? To set up the next one?